How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you are new to this channel, the reason why we do this, maybe you had a stressful day, but even though today is Friday, you want to come here to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. So here it comes. What did the left eye say to the right eye? Between us, something smells. Right? Kind of corny, right? But anyways, what we're going to be talking about is CTRM. Ended up dropping some news today, which shareholders are going to be very happy to hear about. And we already know the CEO makes money by expanding the fleet, and that's exactly what he's doing. But anyways, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing the technical analysis, and then we're going to be going over that press release on their official website. Afterwards, I'll be giving you guys also some updates in regards to the short interest information and as well as institutional ownership. And then afterwards, I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Jam-packed, value-added video as always. We'll get into it. So we're now on the Castor Maritime website. We're going to go over the recent press release. So here it is, April 9th, which was today. Castor Maritime Inc. announces vessel acquisition. So let's read into it. Get some more details. So Castor Maritime Inc. announces vessel acquisition. Castor Maritime Inc., a diversified global shipping company, announces that it entered through a separate wholly owned subsidiary into an agreement to purchase a 2011 Japanese-built Panamax dry bulk carrier from an unaffiliated third party for the purchase price of $18.48 million. The acquisition is expected to be consummated by taking delivery of the vessel within the second quarter of this year and is subject to the satisfaction of certain customary closing conditions. Pedros Patalitos, so the CEO of Castor, commented, "We are pleased to announce our 9th vessel acquisition in 2021 with the addition of another Panamax dry bulk vessel to Castor's fleet. Our focus remains on deploying our capital and growing our fleet through timely acquisitions of vessels across shipping segments." All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. This is great news for anyone who's a shareholder. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for CTRM. So the chart that we have up is the 5-day, 5-minute chart, and then we're going to be zooming out, going in to the 1-month chart to take a bigger picture of how the trend is looking, and then the 3-month afterwards. But let's take a look on the overall performance on the day. So we ended up finishing the day at 50 cents, 0.5078 to be exact, being down 1.68%. Ended up seeing a low of 50 cents, but to be exact, 0.5050, and ended up seeing a high today just shy of 56 cents at 0.5589. So the first thing that we want to take a look at are areas of support. So we definitely did a good job having some support there right at that 50-cent level. Keep in mind, they did an offering not too long ago at 65 cents. So even at the current price of where it's at, CTRM is still looking fairly good. Now, the next level that we want to pay attention to, which happened previously, or let's just say yesterday, ended up testing areas of support right here around 49 cents. And then before that, I know many of you remember this, it ended up getting down to all the way over here at 45 cents. So seeing the fact that those areas of support are getting better is something that we want to see. One thing to keep in mind, a lot of stocks got hit today inside the market. So if we even take a look at what happened in the beginning of the day, especially when it ended up hitting that high, it did just get to just under 56 cents. So we do have an area of resistance here where we can call at 55 cents. As the day started progressing, you can see we have an area of resistance here at 53 cents, and then after ended up coming down to 51, and then where you see here, we end up having this area continuing to be that 51 cent area. So if the market conditions end up being good, I definitely see us breaking through that and just coming back and reclaiming be above the 100-day simple moving average, as you can see from this red line here. So as we take a look quickly at the 1-month chart, as you can see, it is quite on the downtrend, especially as we have this gap down here when they started announcing that they were going to be doing an offering and so forth. And you can see by the following indicators, it's below almost pretty much all of them. So that's definitely not a good sign, but if you believe in the company long term, then this is definitely a buying opportunity. Now, if we go further out, let's do 6 months. So if we take a look at the 6-month chart, like I was saying previously, it is below all of the indicators that we have. So this signals a buying opportunity. But let's say, for example, if it decides to pull back even further or the market conditions tend to be unfavorable for next week, look out for that area right here at 45 cents. And then the next level behind that would be right here around 37 cents. Will we reach these particular areas? I doubt it, but if you do end up seeing it, I don't want you guys to be surprised, especially if you are interested. If you're not interested or you don't have high conviction that CTRM will go back on its run up and get back to that dollar range where it was previously, then this is definitely not the right play for you. Hope you guys found this helpful. So we're now on fintel.io for CTRM. We want to take a look at what's been going on as of late for institutional ownership. So in total for institutional owners, CTRM has 25. So not too bad. So as we know, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So if we take a look here and see what's been going down recently, and we're going to go back, let's go back to the beginning of February. So as we go back to the beginning of February here, we have different institutions who have opened up new positions in CTRM, with only 2 within that period of time that have closed their positions. So this is actually something that is great to see, and there's definitely some reputable companies here, as we can see right off the bat: Morgan Stanley, Citadel. We also have Royal Bank of Canada here, very well known down here in Canada. And we also have Barclays, Virtue Financial. And there's some heavy positions. Savvy Management in with 2.8 million shares. And Hanson Funds Management in with 4.9 million shares. And we have Civi Holdings over here with almost 4 million shares. So there's definitely some institutional ownership for CTRM. So let's take a look at the short interest. So we're going to look at the short volume ratio. So currently the short volume ratio is around 36%. So that is fairly high. As we know, anything above 21% is fairly significant. As far as for the short shares availability, and this is as of March the 8th, it's around 10 million. So that's something to be aware of. And the short borrow fee rate is around 5.61%. So it's still up there. And if we take a look at the short volume ratio, as we have for the latest date, it's here is at April the 8th. So taking that into consideration, it's at 36.37. On April the 7th, it was higher at around 39.95. But anywhere in this 35 and up area is fairly high. But again, we already know anything above 21% is fairly significant. And we've already seen before in prior videos that it had levels of short volume ratio well into the 40s as well. So what I wanted to kind of show you is now the update in regards to the short interest ratio and the short volume here on MarketBeat. So one of the reasons why CTRM has a ton of short squeeze potential, if you take a look at the percentage of shares that are shorted, it's right here at 347.92%. which is crazy. And it's part of the reasons why whenever we see price movements in CTRM, they tend to be very significant since so many shares are shorted, and when they have to cover, that moves the price of the stock up. So it's good to know that you guys are also aware of that and so forth. So as we scroll down on the page and take a look at the short interest history, one of the things we need to be aware of, we're definitely seeing some changes here. So even if we take a look here at February the 12th, it was down 13%. If we take a look at February the 26th, it was down 42.5%. And if we take a look at March the 15th, it was also down 53.2%. So these are some significant things to be aware of. And if you also notice as well, the price has been going down. So that's something to be aware of. And it just kind of shows the reason why it's important for stocks to be finishing above that price. So again, it forces a squeeze, right? We have better price action. So for my final thoughts for CTRM, I must say I am impressed, and this is great news for shareholders. One thing that I like, this company is really focused on growing the business and expanding their fleet. And we also know the CEO gets a performance-based incentive, which means growing the business, expanding the fleet. So just taking this into consideration, I do feel this will continue. He's been on quite the streak as of late, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. The great news about this is we know they're in the dry bulk shipping area, and one of the parts about this segment is going to benefit a lot, especially as the economy recovers and things go back to normal. So as far as for anyone who's going long term on CTRM, things are looking really good. We also know that they did a direct offering recently, and that was at 65 cents. And the fact that the current price right now, where it closed, was around 50 cents, I feel that's still a hell of a deal, and the stock price right now is at a really good discount. Could it pull back even further? Yes, it possibly can, and that's part of the reasons why we do the technical analysis in these videos. And I also want to put in the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. We'll talk soon. Peace.